Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Amir Hussain, and as you know that we are discussing the third topic, which is print revolution and its impact, its effects, its consequences. And we have discussed one such change which was brought about in Europe by the invention of the print, by the print culture, by the print revolution. That was the new reading public. We now came to know that how, with the introduction of the print, how now the instead of instead of hearing public, how a new culture of reading was developed, how it emerged, and in which a new public, that is the reading public, came into being. Now, taking forward the same discussion, today we are going to discuss another subtopic of this print revolution, that is religious debates. That is religious debates. This is another important change brought by the print revolution. Religious debates and the fear of print. Another important impact, another important change that this print revolution brought in the Europe. That is, because of the print, because of print, now a new possibility, that is the possibility of wide circulation, the possibility of wide circulation of ideas, and right, so because of the print, the possibility of wide there was wide possibility of the circulation of ideas. Now print की वजह से क्या हुआ? Because of the print, the possibility of wide circulation of ideas. इस print की वजह से, this print created a new possibility of the wide circulation of ideas. एक नई possibility आ गई, एक नई change आ गई इसमें. अब wide circulation ideas जो है, ideas were circulated widely. Now there was wide spread circulation of the ideas. जो आइडियाज है वो बहुत ज़्यादा जो है फैल गए इसकी वजह से, और ये पॉसिबिलिटी इसने क्रिएट कर दी. सेकंड, दिस बिकॉज ऑफ द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ प्रिंट, नाउ a new world a new world came into being, or a new world emerged. And in the new world, the world that was created by the print, that emerged because of the print, now in that world, debate and discussion was very important. Because of the print, प्रिंट की वजह से क्या हुआ? एक नई दुनिया वजूद में आ गई, जिस दुनिया में डिबेट और डिस्कशन जो है होने लगा. नाउ इन द important part of the new world that emerged because of the print was debate and discussion. And because of the print, as we know that a new world emerged in which discussions and debates took place on a large scale. Even those who disagreed with the authority, or with the established authority, with the established political institutions, with the established authorities, even now, because of the print, they could also print. They could now print. Now those people who were not satisfied with their authorities, with their governments, with their states, now they could also print against those people, and also they could circulate their ideas. प्रिंट की वजह से जो है, अब वो लोग जो अपने गवर्नमेंट से खुश नहीं थे, अपने पॉलिटिकल इंस्टीट्यूशन से खुश नहीं थे, अपने जो सोशल इवल्स प्रिवलेंट थे, जो भी प्रॉब्लम थी, अब वो उसको प्रिंट भी कर सकते थे, एंड नाउ दे कुड आल्सो सर्कुलेट देयर आइडियाज. वो अपने आइडियाज को भी एक्सप्रेस कर सकते थे और उनको स्प्रेड कर सकते थे, उनको वाइड पब्लिसिटी दे सकते थे. एंड ऑल दिस वाज पॉसिबल बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रिंट. प्रिंट की वजह से जो है, because of the invention of printing press, all this became possible. And also these people who were not satisfied with their authorities, now they could they could persuade. Now they could persuade people to think differently. And they could do so, ये सारा कुछ ये कर सकते हैं through the printed message. Because of the print, now people who are not satisfied with their own government, they circulated their ideas, and they also tried to persuade, to convince the people. उन्होंने लोगों को राजी करने की कोशिश की, persuade किया, मजबूर किया उन्होंने लोगों को ये सोचने पर कि आप differently सोचो, to act differently, to think differently. आप differently act करो, differently think, and also to move differently, and also to move them or to lead them. और उनको lead करना था. Now because of the print, those who were not satisfied, they could persuade the people, they could circulate their ideas, and they could persuade the people to think differently through this printed message, and also to move, to lead them. They could lay down to the people according to their directions, according to their own ideas, and all this was possible because of the print. And now through printed message they could do so. They can now move, they can now influence the people, they can now persuade the people to act differently, to think differently, and this was its wide impact that this printing press had. And now, but this print was not welcomed by everyone. Or printed book was not welcomed by everyone. सब लोगों ने इसका वेलकम नहीं किया, प्रिंटेड बुक्स का. And even those people who welcomed it had fears. Now they had fears about it. इस प्रिंटेड बुक का जो है प्रिंट का सबने खैर मकदम नहीं किया, बल्कि कुछ लोग ऐसे थे जिन्होंने इसका खैर मकदम नहीं किया, और इवन जिन्होंने इसका वेलकम किया, जिन्होंने इसका खुशामदीद किया, वो भी जो है उनमें से बहुत लोग जो है उनको फियर था इससे, दे हैड फियर्स अबाउट इट, उनको इससे बहुत ज्यादा डर था। एंड डर किस चीज का था? वाई दे वर फियरिंग? बिकॉज दे वर एप्रहेंसिव, they were apprehensive about its effects, the effects that this print had. They became very apprehensive about it. वो परेशान हो गए उसको लेकर. Because why its effects? What kind of effects? Because they believed that now its effects could have on people's mind. Now the psyche of people would be affected. Now the mind of people would be affected by this print. So its effects will be very far and wide. And that's why many people became very apprehensive about that. And they became apprehensive also because they could not become apprehensive about this, only about its impacts, but also they feel that they became apprehensive that easier access to the printed world, to the print, and it is wider circulation of books. Because of the print, now access, everyone got access, people got access to the print. Now लोगों को access print तक मिला. And because of the wider circulation of the books, now it was natural that it had its own impact on the mind of the people. इसके नताइज क्या लोगों पे निकलेंगे? जो लोग अब जिनको रसाई मिली, जिनको एक्सेस मिला अब बुक्स के लिए, और जो ये वाइड सर्कुलेशन हो गई बुक्स की, जब ये बुक्स बहुत ज्यादा फैल गए, ये स्प्रेड हो गए, बहुत ज्यादा इनकी रेंज जो है बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गई, and it was natural that its outcome was that it would have impacted the people, and that's why some people became apprehensive that its impacts over the people would definitely have its impact, it would definitely have its effects on the mind of the people. Now the mindset of the people would be affected because of the print. So this was the apprehension that people had, even those who read the books. And second, it was also fear. This print also created the fear that if there was no control over what was printed, and read, it was believed that if there was no control over what was printed, अगर इस चीज पे ये भी फियर था लोगों में कि अगर या हायर अथॉरिटीज में, पॉलिटिशियंस में, ये जो किंग्स थे जो भी वहां पे थे, उनमें रूलर्स में, सब में जो है, उन रूलर्स में खास तौर पे नोबिलिटी सेक्शन में ये फियर था कि अगर ये हम अगर कंट्रोल ही नहीं रहा कि क्या छप रहा है और क्या पढ़ रहे हैं लोग, then definitely rebellious and irreligious thoughts. Irreligious, then definitely irreligious thoughts and the rebellious thoughts, it might emerge or it might develop and spread. This was the fear कि अगर इस चीज पे कंट्रोल नहीं रहा, अगर ये चीज काबू के बाहर गई कि प्रिंट क्या हो रहा है और पढ़ क्या रहे हैं, then definitely rebellious tendencies would emerge. Then definitely rebellious tendencies would this spread. लोगों की ये खुशी अगर किसी रूल के साथ नहीं है, लोग खिलाफ हो जाएंगे उसके, तो ये आइडियाज उनके जल्दी जल्दी फैल जाएंगे. एंड आल्सो irreligious thoughts might develop. Irreligious thoughts जो है, irreligious thoughts means religious के खिलाफ उनको खतरा लगा, रिलीजन में भी, मजहब में भी उनको खतरा लगा कि शायद irreligious thoughts इमर्ज हो सकती हैं, जिसकी वजह से जो है इस मजहब पे भी आंच आ सकती है, मजहब पे भी इम्पैक्ट पड़ सकता है. एंड they believed that if that happened, the authority of valuable literature, would be destroyed. अगर ऐसा हुआ कि लोग खुश नहीं थे, लोग खिलाफ हो गए किसी चीज के, तो इससे लोगों में अगर डिससेटिस्फिकेशन होगी तो लोग जो है रिबेलियन पे उतर आएंगे, इनमें रिबेलियस टेंडेंसीज डेवलप होंगी और साथ साथ इररिलीजियस थॉट्स भी डेवलप होंगे, जिसकी वजह से रिलीजन को भी खतरा लगा और ये फियर इस प्रिंट की वजह से क्रिएट हुआ. एंड दीज पीपल बिलीव दैट इफ दैट हैपेंड, if we let this literature, whatever literature that was printed, if we let it go, then if we allowed it, then definitely the authority of the valuable literature would be destroyed. ये जो valuable literature की authority जिसकी है, बाइबल की थी, बाकी चीज़ों की, जो बाइबल की authority जो valuable literature माना जाता था, इसकी अथॉरिटी जो है वो भी खत्म हो सकती है, उसमें उसको डिस्ट्रॉय किया जा सकता है. एंड these were the fears that were, these thoughts were expressed by religious authorities. And also the monarchs. The monarchs of the time, not only them, also by many writers and authors or artists are even. So the fear that was created by the print, that might be irreligious thoughts will emerge, they will spread very fast because of the wide circulation of the literature, because of the wide range of the print. And secondly, rebellious tendencies, rebellious elements would develop among the people, and they would spread like a wildfire in the whole Europe within no time. And even also the authority of the valuable literature would be destroyed, that is Bible. And these thoughts were expressed by a large section of the society which included religious authorities. Who were religious authorities? Religious authorities were Christians. Sorry, they were church. Religious authorities of the then time was the church, it were the popes, it were bishops, and others who were associated with these churches. And also the monarchs of the time, the rulers of the time, the rulers who had absolute powers, who had no checks and balances over their powers, who tried to be absolutists, who suppressed the people, who oppressed the people. Even those people, those rulers, those monarchs, they feared because of the wide circulation of the print. And also many writers and artists, they also had some fear related with the print and its wide circulation. So because of this thing, there was wide criticism, there was widespread criticism. Of the new printed literature and that circulated. The new literature that circulated, the new printed literature that circulated in the Europe, now it faced a very stiff criticism, a very strong criticism from religious authorities, from religious persons, religious personalities, from religious these authorities, church, from popes and others, and also from kings, from rulers, from many writers and artists. And this new printed literature was widely circulated, that faced very widespread criticism from many sections of the society. Now there are many implications. The fears that people had, that these religious authorities, that rulers, that artists, that many these writers and also some people had, this proved to be very important. And there were many implications of this wide circulation of the literature, of the this printed literature, new printed books. It had very implications. Not only it affected only one this aspect of the human life, but it had its impact. It had its implications on every aspect of the human life. It had its implications on polity, on society, on culture, on religion, and everything. No one can escape from the implications, from the impact that this new or effect that this new printed culture had. And we will take up implication of new printed literature on religion. This is one sphere of life. एक sphere जिंदगी का, we were discussing the implications, the impact, that the consequences or effects of this print revolution. And we discussed many effects, many impacts of this print revolution. But one such impact, which was one such institution, one such aspect of life, which was very, which was highly, which had highly this high implications, which had high impact, wide impact, far-reaching consequences, was religion. And the religion of early modern Europe. How was the religion that was taking shape in the earth? How was this religion that developed or that was taking shape in the early modern Europe or period? How it was influenced by the new printed literature with the print, that we will discuss in our next lecture. And I hope that you would have understood this topic well, and thank you for listening to today's topic.